but he told me to go. Taylor, don't talk about things you don't know what you're talking about.
That's all I've ever done.
We're 15 out. Stand by, please.
This is why we're not live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm Renee Cobb. This is Red Barn Radio's 18th broadcast season, and tonight is Red Barn Radio's 674th live concert performance. Tonight, Red Barn Radio presents Hillhouse. Hailing from Kentucky's own Derby City, Hillhouse is a progressive bluegrass band whose roots in traditional music are apparent. Their aspirations to bring traditional music into the 21st century shows a vision that is unique to this young group of instrumentalists and singers. Please welcome Hillhouse to the Red Barn stage.
God made man, you know he made the sky. Man can walk, but only gods can fly. The ocean's deep and the valley's wide. If I had wings, I'd see the other side. My mama said you'll be a man someday. Gonna spread your wings and you'll fly away. Always did what my mama said, and I've got this fever burning in my head. So I put on my paper wings and I climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins and I smell the daffodils. Watch the buzzards flying high, and today the world will know that I'm the boy that flew on paper wings. Throw my penny in a wishing well, send me to heaven, Lord, and not to hell. 'Cause what I do wasn't meant to be done. Rather make my own than to settle for none. Some are born to dig coal, others born to hammer steel. That don't explain the things that I feel. 'Cause I'm jealous of the sun and I'm jealous of the moon. If I get my way, I'm gonna be there soon. So I put on my paper wings and I climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins and I smell the daffodils. Watch the buzzards flying high, and today the world will know that I'm the boy that flew on paper wings. Cool, clear waters flowing down below. But sorry for the fishes, wonder if they know. They wouldn't have the river if they didn't have rain. There's a storm cloud brewing, driving me insane. For God made man, you know he made the sky. Birds can have wings, then so can I. You don't see me when the day is through. One way or another, I get my wings too. So I put on my paper wings and I'll climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins and I smell the daffodils. Watch the buzzards flying high, and today the world will know that I'm the boy that flew on paper wings. Thank you all so much.
Good
That's
evening,
an original song
and
of ours.
welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to the music of Kentucky. WEKU is Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, serving Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.fm. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. Lex Arts, Lexington, Kentucky's Arts Council, creating a great American city inspired by the arts. Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta, and live music every weekend. On Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, Broussard's is on Facebook. Listen locally, working in concert with people to embrace opportunities, listen locally, and engage in shared experiences, including music, theater, poetry, dialogue, and conversation. More on Facebook, Instagram, and listenlocally.net. Griffin Gate Resort and Spa, a luxury spa located in the Marriott in Lexington, Kentucky. The Griffin Gate Marriott Resort and Spa is the ideal choice for your next visit to Lexington, Kentucky. And Accuprint, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. Online at accuprint.us. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter, and hopefully like us on Facebook. Now here again is the host of Red Barn Radio to tell you more about tonight's performance.
On the Red Barn stage tonight is Hillhouse. The musicians of Hillhouse have played internationally and have been featured on many national programs, including NPR's Mountain Stage. The musicians who make up this distinctive group are Taylor Shuck on banjo and vocals, Ellie Miller on fiddle and vocals, Isaac May on mandolin, guitar, and vocals, and Andrew Tyler Brown, bass and vocals. They'll be releasing their debut CD, produced by Louisville's own Britton Patrick Morgan, early next year. I can already tell we're in for a real treat, so let's welcome Hillhouse back to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you, guys. We're so happy to be here tonight. The first song that you all heard was an original tune written by Isaac May, the guitar and mandolin player for this band. This next song is another original tune written by our bass player, Andy Brown. And this one is called Still Love You More.
Yes. so much question. When you break down the stillness and nights me, when you come hold me right from behind, when I know if the morning cries out to me, I'll still love you more. When you show me a life that was never meant to be, when you put your soul right next to mine, when you say that your soul captured by me, I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. When the rain comes down on our little lives, when you give me the strength to get on by, when you say that your soul keeps by me, I'll still love you more. When you break down the stillness and nights me, when you come hold me right from behind, when I know if the morning cries out to me, I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more.
Thank you all so much. Like I say, and the song before that we played, the instrumental, was a song called June Apple, and it kind of is setting a pattern that you're going to notice throughout our music. We're a big fan of traditional music as we are original music, so we like to take new songs and make them sound traditional, and traditional songs and make them sound new. So on that same note, this is a traditional song called Flower on My Pretty Little Miss. It's one that we've all played around for years, but we kind of done our own thing with it, and so Ellie's going to sing this one for you.
Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy. pretty little miss. Fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss. Almost drive me crazy, fly around my pretty little miss. Fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss. Almost drive me crazy. Oh, peaches in the summertime, apples in the fall. If I can't have the one I love, I won't have love at all. Fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my crazy, fly around my pretty little miss, fly around my daisy, fly around my pretty little miss, almost drive me crazy.
Thank you all so much. We're going to do another original song of ours, and this song is going to be one we're going to be recording. We're going down to Nashville this Sunday to record our album, and you can find all the songs we've done so far, except for Fly Around My Pretty Little Miss, on this upcoming album. And this is a song about maybe going through losing somebody, but even though you don't necessarily want to, but you know it's the right thing anyway, and things will probably work out, and it's called This Song. Well, I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Couldn't write it in a letter, couldn't tell you on the phone. Well, I don't mind talking, but I guess I'd rather sing. And I know you're bound to listen when you hear the banjo strings. Don't you cry, little darling, 'cause you know you're not to blame. Because you can't feel the fire until you found the flame. Sometimes the nights get lonely, and sometimes you feel the pain. But the ocean needs the river like the river needs me. Times are good. I ain't saying it's been easy, 'cause you know that I can't lie. I'd rather think about the good times than sit around and cry. Well, every story has an ending, every poem has a rhyme. But the ending of our story doesn't mean the end of mine. So I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Couldn't write it in a letter, couldn't tell you on the phone. talking, but I guess I'd rather sing. And I know you're bound to listen when you hear the banjo strings. So I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Yeah, I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Thank you all.
Now, here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
Now that we're all situated, thanks, Renee. Great to have Hillhouse with us tonight. Hillhouse is Taylor Shuck playing the banjo and Andy Brown on the bass. He's closest to me. Isaac May is down the line playing the mandolin and guitar, and then Ellie Miller's over there on the fiddle. Great to have you guys with us, and this isn't your first time, most of you. Is it for you, Taylor?
Yeah, it is. It's
All right.
definitely my first time here.
Do you feel kind of lonely?
A little bit. I usually
Sure.
get left out of all these fun things they do.
Yeah, well, they brought you along this time, though.
So deprecating.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
So I'm under the impression that Louisville sort of owns you guys. Is that right? You hail from Louisville? Is
Close
that
enough.
the
More or
case,
less.
Yeah,
Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually the only one that lives in Louisville.
Oh,
But a lot of us work in Louisville and live close.
And we all
nearby.
practice at her house.
Yes, they come to
So-
my
Oh,
house
okay.
every Tuesday.
is that your routine? Is that you get together on Tuesdays?
Yeah, whether she
Yes.
wants to or not, we're at her house.
Oh, you are.
Every
Sometimes she's not even
Tuesday.
there, and we just let ourselves in, hang
When
out for a while.
when she's not there, does she still have food and stuff like that for you there?
Not for long.
There's food for her. That's now ours.
Well, you guys, you're only formed in May. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you guys came together? Taylor, you want to?
Yeah, so actually,
to
I'm
that?
the only one who knew everybody really before this got started. And the way it really got started was around January. The three of us had been in a group, me, Isaac, and Ellie. And we were in this kind of jam band group, and we were getting tired of being exasperated instrumentalists as our Facebook group chat was named. And we started a band, and we were not really like trying to start a band. We were just jamming for like 4 months, once a month about.
Mostly in Louisville?
Yeah, at U of L.
Okay.
We decided to jam there because Ellie was a student then. And Andy wanted to jam with us, and then we started becoming a band around May. That's when we actually decided to do this.
All right. And so since May, have you guys mostly been practicing and putting stuff together for the four of you, or have you been doing lots of driving around and playing on different stages and such? Anybody?
It's been a lot of both.
Yeah.
That's
so, like,
Isaac there.
Yeah, and we get together, as Taylor said, once a week and are always working up a new material. Like we just started a new song yesterday that we're probably going to start looping in. But we've also been a gig or two a week at times, sometimes three. Taylor and Ellie and Andy couldn't go with us, but we went out to California and played an event. We've been in, but usually in the tri-state area more or less. But
You went out to California.
yeah,
Yes.
it was to
Okay,
Lake
yeah.
Tahoe. It was.
Oh, that sounds like okay. You have to tell me about that about that one later on. All right, so then you guys met sort of out and about jamming. And Andrew, how did you happen to come upon these folks?
Well, Taylor and I have worked for other artists and bands over the last couple of years. And we were both faculty at the Louisville Folk School for a long time.
Okay.
And I knew Taylor really from that, and then we played for some Lexington and Kentucky artists together as side guys. And I had just quit my touring job, and I had talked to Taylor. I was also an exasperated instrumentalist, and I was trying to find my people. And Taylor was my usual go-to, like my ear, to say the least. Probably, I definitely have complained a lot to Taylor over the last few years about gigs.
Yeah. Tell me what do you complain about?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Mostly we complain about each other.
And mainly each other.
Yes,
And
that's true, even when they're not around.
Oh, it's just frustrating.
So this exasperated instrumentalist thing, is that a state of mind or a state of being where you're expected just to do nothing, don't sing, don't do anything, just play what we tell you?
It's a lot of play what we tell you. I mean, we sing what we tell you to sing, kind of things like that. And I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a very respectable life that way. And we were just, I think we ended up in weird situations where we're like, this kind of sucks, and we'd like it not to. So, and we like hanging out with each other. We were hanging out with each other anyway in our free time. So we were like, well, how do we expand that into more time?
How do we not lose money when hanging out with each other?
Yes. How do we not lose money by hanging out with each other?
A good goal. Tell me about the Louisville Folk School. Is that how you refer to it, Andy?
Yeah, it's Louisville Folk School.
Taylor, tell us about that. Yeah.
So it's a recently just turned nonprofit business in Louisville that's called the Louisville Folk School, and they teach beginner to intermediate mostly lessons for all of the folk instruments. There's some ensemble lessons as well. And I remember Andy had gotten hired on, and then I ran into him at a Billy Strings concert and saw that. Yeah, that's how we met. We met at a Billy Strings concert in the back corner talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes,
but
these are all accurate things.
Yeah, it's
we're
completely
learning a
true,
lot
not
about
lying.
you right now.
What?
Yeah, we're learning a lot about you right now.
Yeah,
the
I
Dungeons
have-
and Dragons.
This outfit
totally.
says I play Dungeons and Dragons.
It does.
It does not,
No.
This does not surprise me, but nevertheless.
We were teaching on the same day though as well, so we just yeah.
Well, go. So this is going to be. So the way this is going to happen is like this. We have 2 interviews. So the first interview I think is going to be the Taylor and Andy interview, and then the second interview is going to be the Isaac and Ellie.
Really?
So good. Is that okay?
Oh, I mean, you're missing out on some great Andy Ellie interactions and Isaac Taylor.
Okay.
you
Well,
know,
they
but-
can always jump
yeah.
in. Somehow I don't feel like either of you will be too shy to jump in. How about Taylor? Can you talk about how did you get to play so good?
I just was really nerdy about it growing up. I've been playing for 15 years, and just a lot of liking bluegrass and non-bluegrass music, and really leaning really heavy on the non-bluegrass stuff for a long time, and I had to kind of learn a lot more technique than you would do in a lot of traditional banjo.
Non-bluegrass banjo music?
Yeah, so I got a hold of like one of the Bach toccata and fugue in D minor, and then there was like I had a rock phase, and it's just been all over the place.
So you play Bach on the banjo?
Yeah, I
Wow.
do. Actually, I did a transcription of an invention for Tune Fox, which is Bennett Sullivan's banjo teaching website.
It must be sort of a hard time to be a bluegrass musician, especially a banjo player. I mean, we're living in the time of like Fleck and Pekelny and all that stuff, and it's like it doesn't seem like a guy could be all that content just sort of plunking along on the banjo anymore. Like it used to be a real simple instrument.
I mean, it's never been too simple. It's always been the way a lot of people describe it is really hard to learn, and they used to say easy to master. That's not quite as true anymore. But there's definitely something that's kind of almost similar to a mantra when you're doing some of the more repetitive stuff that I find really peaceful personally for old time music and a lot of the traditional bluegrass stuff.
Yeah, simple isn't really the word I meant to say. I guess what I mean to say is that the banjo role was kind of like very defined.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's just a role.
Right, and but you take it beyond role. Like what's sort of catching me is how fluid you are with those little. I don't even know if they're 30-second notes you're playing or 16ths.
I don't know either. I went to school for music, but I also may have partied a little bit too much and not paid attention to my studies. So I forgot.
Some intense
Honest
Dungeons and
truth.
Dragons, man.
So they might be somewhere between the 16th and the 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So can you actually you worked hard on that Bach bit on he's rolling up his sleeves. He knows what's coming. That was awesome. You rolled up your sleeves while I was bringing that up. Can you play just give people a sample of what Bach would sound like on a banjo?
I can't remember the rest of it. It's been like a while.
But all right. So was Chris Thiele like the first guy to really get into playing classical music on a bluegrass instrument the way that he did? You know, he was playing whole concertos and stuff like that.
That would be an Isaac question.
Yeah,
He
I
does
guess.
the
Okay,
mandolin
Isaac,
stuff.
you can
Yeah,
jump in
as
on
far
this.
as I know, I mean, I think Mike Marshall predated Chris Thiele by about 15 years on that. But in the common knowledge, Thiele was the first grass to cross those lines.
Yeah. Andy, go ahead, jump in.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not as
Don't give
good.
him that opportunity.
Do it. No, you are.
Oh, this is
so
not
good.
my expertise in any way. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but-
know.
He went to
But talk
bluegrass
about your bass. I have seen you performing with a lot of different kinds of players around and about, and it's kind of cool that you kind of want to have your own thing now.
Yeah.
Tell us about your training and.
Oh yeah, I guess I can do that. Well, I would say out of all of us, I'm probably the latest to the game on their primary instrument. I started playing upright when I was 20, and I went to Berea College, and there they had a bluegrass band, but the bluegrass band was full, so I had the great opportunity of starting an old-time string band for the university. And when I was there, you know, I was originally the guitar player for it, and like many string bands, our bass player quit like within the first week or so, and I really wanted this class to get off the ground, and because they gave a sophomore in college full reign of something, and that was their mistake, and I wanted to prove them wrong. And so I learned upright about then, and then I started getting gigs with it about a year or two later, and I got on the road when I was about 21 or so, doing my first bluegrass gigs with some decently known people. And then at that point I had basically like a pre-law degree. I graduated from Berea with an English degree, and I didn't go to law school, and I went to music school at Morehead State University, and I studied under Ruth McLean and Raymond McLean.
Yeah.
And I was their burden for 2 years, and I felt really bad for them. And but it was great. I had a great time because I already had a bachelor's degree, so I got the great opportunity of just doing the music classes and hanging out and just really focusing in with no gen eds or nothing. It was phenomenal, and it really cut the fat off my playing, and I was still touring and still traveling a lot. And as soon as I graduated, I pretty much hit the ground running. And for the last, I'd say 2 or 3 years, I've just been playing nonstop. You know, averaging like 150 shows a year. So it's fun.
Wow, that was kind of a whirlwind tour of your life of the last 5 years or so.
Don't break it down like that. It makes me feel like I'm one-dimensional.
No. So there is so much who is Andy Brown, and I've been talking
Wait
with
for the
Andy
book.
Brown and Taylor Shuck. They're just half of Hillhouse, and we're
We're the chatty half.
there's a whole nother half to go, and we'll be back to talk with Isaac and Ellie in the next interviews. Great to have you guys with us. Welcome back, folks. Hillhouse.
I wish there's more time for us to catch a spark, or maybe a distance that wasn't so far apart. I wish I had a chance to do everything. Well, I'm booking a one-way ticket to better memory. I'm just booking a one-way ticket to better memory. Oh Lord, and if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less to doubt, and you could come around, and I could come around. I never got the chance to apologize, but the way that I treated you wasn't quite right. Time makes us fonder of the years we got, but memories are sweeter when they're far off. I said now memories are sweeter when they're so far off. And if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less to doubt, and you could come around, and I could come around. I could fund one last trip up north. Maybe make a difference, put the cart behind the horse. Even if it's just one chance to say goodbye. Well, sometimes explanations are a lullaby. Sometimes explanations are a lullaby. And if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less doubt, and you could come around, and I could come around, and you could come around, and I could come around. Thank you all. That was an original called This Song. We're going to make Isaac play mandolin again on Whiskey Before Breakfast.
we're going to do another original song here. This is one that Ellie wrote, and coincidentally, it's also going to be on our new album, which is coming out in the spring, early of next year, hopefully. This one is quickly became one of my favorite songs. This one's called Sleep Alone.
Danger zone.
I thought I'd put one foot in front of the other and run. Run, run, run until all these things were undone. But I can't hide, you knew it just one glance. You figured me out, I didn't want to say the words. But if I pushed you away, thrown you out my door, we'd have no words to say. We could have had it any other way. Ooh, doesn't matter much what I think or feel anymore. You felt the passion, you told me my eyes wanted more. Oh, comfort is easy, love is so hazy. I can't remember the last time I daydreamed. Would you like me still? And if I told you my heart, it wouldn't have been that hard. Looking back, I know I would have done it any other way. Ooh, oh, for once I figured it out. I don't need saving. It's too bad your hero could use a wing. Oh, but the stanza will tear her own walls down. Her golden hair could use a little gray now. Would you like me still? Would you like me still? Ooh, it's okay, I'll sleep alone. I've always liked to sleep alone. Ooh,
This portion of our program is brought to you by Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta. Greg has live music every weekend, and they're on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, and also on Facebook.
Listen locally, working in concert with people to embrace opportunities. Listen locally and engage in a variety of shared experiences, including music, theater, poetry, dialogue, and yes, even conversation. There's much more on Facebook, Instagram, and at listenlocally.com.
The Griffin Gate Resort and Spa, a luxury spa located in the Marriott in Lexington, Kentucky. The Griffin Gate Resort is perfect for your next visit to Lexington, Kentucky.
And AccuPrint is Red Barn Radio's print provider, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. They are online at accuprint.us.
And now welcome to the second half of tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio is coming to you live from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Let's welcome back, folks, Hillhouse.
We're going to do another original song called Don't Regret a Thing. Bittersweet as the morning breeze, and I don't regret a thing. Autumn leaves on a new oak tree are just a passing phase, I'm sure. Is it all that bad to feel a little sad every now and then? Without the dark or the devil's mark, we'd never see the light, I'm sure. Lost in time with an endless rhyme and searching for its answer. Where dreams come true and you're just as blue and everything is perfect. All that grand to hold within your hand the answer to it all. 'Cause when the hunt is done and you fire the gun, you're all alone in the woods. Love and war are an open door, then count me out for both. 'Cause a broken heart and being torn apart is how they built them. I'm sure I'm just fine standing here in line with everybody else. 'Cause in front of me I can clearly see there's an end to it all. Bittersweet as the morning breeze, and I don't regret a thing. Thank you.
Thank you. That was an original written by Isaac. This next one we're going to do is another original that's going to be on our upcoming album as well. It's called Caroline, and Taylor wrote this one.
Yep, that's true. That's a fact. Oh, Caroline, won't you go to school and grow up to be smarter? Oh, Caroline, remember to respect your father and your mother. I wish I could stay, I had so much to offer. Life is hard, but you're gonna prosper, Caroline. Caroline, oh Caroline, you give us so much to be proud of. Don't toe the line, you're doing fine. Remember to count on your loved ones like no other. I wish I could stay, I had so much to offer. Life is hard, but you're gonna prosper, Caroline. Barely 1 year old now, what I gotta say won't cross your mind. Even though I'll be around for a while, you'll do fine without my advice. Oh Caroline, don't live for other people's glory. And go through life and do your best. Remember to live your own story. Do it for me. I wish I could stay. I had so much to offer. Life is hard, but you're gonna prosper, Caroline.
Thank you guys. So this next one we're going to do is a song that I wrote with a dear friend of mine, Lily Lyons. She's actually a pop writer, which you will hear that influence in this song. So she writes pop songs. She's out in LA now, but we grew up together playing violin. And she wrote the lyrics to this song. I wrote the song, and then she wrote the words to it. And yeah, this one's called Restless Soul. If I told you what I really think, would you lie so close? Spitting out the words I held for years, buried in my bones. You don't dare touch anything besides my body. Trying to see what you need to believe eye to eye, but you can't reach me. Made a bed of lies every night and we lay down. When you ask if I'm alright, I'll say I'm fine. You never see my doubts. Oh, I wish the truth could just unravel on my tongue, but I hate how I can't seem to speak up for myself. So tell me, how did I get so comfortable lying about my restless soul? Oh, how did I get so comfortable? Oh, lying about my restless soul. If I told you what I really think, would you lie so close? Spitting out the words I held for years, buried in my bones. Oh, I wish the truth could just unravel on my tongue, but I hate how I can't seem to speak up for myself. So tell me, how did I get so comfortable lying about my restless soul? Oh, how did I get so comfortable? Oh, lying about my restless soul. Oh, how did I get so comfortable? Oh, lying about my restless soul.
Here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
Nice tune, Ellie. Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, do you anticipate that the band that Hillhouse will take on more tunes that are like this, or that you'll just continue sort of working them into the rotation?
Well, it's hard to say. It's interesting. The group totally so far has revolved around how each of us has such different writing styles and what that has brought to the group. So right now I think a lot of things kind of sound maybe a little mismatched with a general overlying sound that we have. But I think our ideas are kind of moving more into exploring pop and kind of jazz, R&B influences with bluegrass instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because we grew up all trad players in some aspect of our lives. And so I think we are interested in exploring beyond that.
Yeah.
With still keeping to our roots, like we always say, but exploring is always good.
Yes, it is. And yeah, this does not surprise me that not that you guys would become bored with what you're doing, because what you're doing is intricate and really, really rich. But yeah, you can hear there's just so much desire and interest in what you all say and what you play, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ellie, tell folks about your musical background, going back as far as you remember.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I started playing classical viola at age 5, so that's as far as I can remember right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty far back. So
yeah.
Yeah. Were you forced to? Were you forced to play, or did you go to your parents and say, "I really want to play this"?
It was a few years of forcing and cajoling, and my sister and I were both doing it. She played cello. She's 4 years older than I am, so the two of us were kind of in that. But then when we were choosing what we wanted to do, it ended up being viola. I wanted to play cello so bad, but they told me they don't make cellos small enough for you, and so they made me play viola. But I ended up loving it. I got my degree in viola, so it became my instrument.
Okay, so you were only sad about that for
a little bit,
just for a time.
Yes.
Yeah. And so go on though from there. So you did classical music then as a young person, and all the way through high school. Did you play in your public high school orchestra? And
yeah, my high school actually didn't have an orchestra. They only had band. So I actually
Where was that?
That was in Oldham County High School. And I actually played trombone for 6 years.
Played trombone?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if these guys actually knew that or not, but
I didn't.
Well,
It's on now.
I did.
this is
I
great.
let it out. Yeah, I played trombone for 6 years,
you
but
watch
I was
out, they're-
also still playing viola at the time.
They're going to want to work that
Oh,
into the set.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be cool. You guys will do
I
that.
still have it.
I
Still
know
have the
you will do
trombone.
that. All right, yeah.
Small
So
chance that there may be a trombone in my car.
I think we need to stop right there. How do you not know if there's a trombone in your car, and how is it a
You
small
never know
chance?
with my car.
Never mind. He's correct.
okay. And so when did the traditional music come into play for you?
So my dad is a self-taught musician. He was in rock bands growing up, but he started to grow an interest in playing bluegrass music. He's a bass player. So he started going to this bluegrass jam, and then he started pulling me along with my viola.
And how
not
old
my-
were you
not a
then?
violin. I think I was maybe 12 or 13. And I was so angsty, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. And they told me, okay, improvise. And I was like, what? No. It's like, no, I don't know how. And I hated it for a while. And he kept forcing me to go. And then I ended up loving it. And that's where I really learned how to improvise and learned some trad influences, was through going to a bluegrass jam in my hometown.
Huh.
Yeah.
And did you go to big festivals too? Did you go to the Festival of the Bluegrass and
Yeah,
things like
I
that?
honestly, I didn't grow up going to those like these guys did, but I started touring with a band when I was 16, a bluegrass band called the Bluebells, and I ended up hitting a lot of those local festivals that way, and kind of, we played Festival of the Bluegrass. It's a great festival.
Did your classical training end up being an asset for you when it came to fiddling?
Yeah, I definitely think it influenced my tone. So that's always a big thing. But I like the idea that I wasn't necessarily trained in trad, because that means my voice is just a little different as a fiddle player. So when I was in that bluegrass band, it was a little bit of a shock to be having to kick off songs with like ba-da-dum-ba-bow and like play all these double stops and this like, oh, go listen to this record and play it exactly this way. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay. But I do like that the classical background and kind of a mismatched upbringing in music kind of gave a different voice to my playing, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also gives a different voice to your voice.
Sure.
You have a really sort of understated way of singing tunes, and it's really beautiful. You really want to listen to what you're singing,
you.
but it's very sort of gentle and whispery. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of new to kind of being a singer. I never really thought I was one. Honestly, didn't really sing lead until I was in this band. So that's been exciting. I think we all have a big background in being instrumentalists for other groups. And
Back to the exasperated
singing. Yeah.
instrumentalist thing.
yes, that's where we all kind of found our common ground.
Well, you guys are playing with some fun harmonies
Yeah.
in that tune a couple of tunes ago. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It's very fun.
very way to go out there. Thanks, Ellie. And now the fourth quarter of Hillhouse, Mr. Isaac May, and I, Isaac, it is so good to see you. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, I think I've known you since I was 9.
Really, I thought I was thinking even younger. Really?
I started music when I was 9, so it couldn't have been earlier than that, I don't think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it was at Cowan Creek, I would
Yeah,
think.
Cowan
right?
Creek, absolutely.
At the Cowan Creek Music School, where you were just, I think you were just a very teeny little 9-year-old.
Very much so, yeah. But my annoying personality more than made up for my small stature. I'm still told that's true, but I work with it.
I have never seen you as an annoying person at all. I just see you as
I don't know what that says about you then.
It says that I'm a long-suffering, lovely person. So, Isaac, tell folks about your about how music sort of came into your life and about your family sort of pre-Cowan Creek days.
Yeah, so...
and tell folks about Cowan Creek, first of all.
Yeah, so Cowan Creek is it's an old-time music school, and it's a camp, rather, that takes place in June. It's a 1-week-long camp, and it's to teach, especially young people, but there's people from the ages of 8 to at least 80, learning the traditional Appalachian music, and they teach it in the old school way. They teach it by ear. At the end, they have a square dance where everybody learns the true culture of that, and that's and I think that was I only went for I guess 4 or 5 years, but it was very influential on me throughout that, because that was one of the first music events. But the way we even ended up there was my family was camping in Florida on one of our strange excursions as a homeschooled weird family. We're always that one. And my brother saw a fiddle player in Florida, thought that was pretty cool, and decided to get him a fiddle. And so as younger brothers do, we followed him around and pestered him to the music stores, and we would play around with the instruments. And so both of my brothers and I all started playing music at the same time. And eventually my mother, we taught her how to play bass because we needed a bass player, logistics, you know. And
Your mother, Tina, who is here in the audience.
yes, absolutely.
Right.
Looking at me judgingly and lovingly. And so from there, we were homeschooled. My dad was self-employed. My mom would stay-at-home mom. So that became our culture and our life. That instead of sports, we were out at festivals. We were, playing random birthday parties. We were that just became the centerpiece of our lives.
Huh. And did they're both here, so we'll see if you answer this question honestly. Was there ever a time when you felt like they were driving the music train harder than
Not at all.
than you want? Or not at all.
No, I think when
Or is it the opposite?
I remember like when we were very, very first start playing, we were taking lessons. They're like, okay, well, if we're going to be paying for lessons, at least try to practice a little bit. And then the one time I tried to play an E minor chord and I cried, I think that's when they're like, okay, well, we'll reel it in a little bit. And I haven't cried since then over the E minor chords, but Taylor makes me cry a lot. It's complicated. Oh, God, what did I do?
Right.
Just play an E minor, relax.
But yeah, so from there, it kind of took hold of my life in ways I never expected. And I thought about it recently, and the vast majority of people I know, I'd say at least 90%, are because of music, are directly because either I'm related to them or I met them at a festival or at an event or someplace. There are very few people I know outside of the music culture, and it's a sort of a fascinating thing to think back on. And the majority of my life, that's what I've known, and so it's hard to imagine not being that.
Huh. So talk about when you finished your high school days and you had demonstrated to your parents that there was nothing else that they could teach you, and it was it was time to think about the sort of the next step. What did you all do then?
So it's not quite that sequence. It's a little bit strange. So through the homeschooling, my whole family uprooted from our Central Kentucky home and moved to Eastern Kentucky for 2 years because my older brothers decided they wanted to go to the Kentucky School of Bluegrass and Traditional Music. And I was a 13-year-old kid, and they let me sit in on classes. And so eventually I was actually able to graduate, I think at 14, with a certificate in I forget what it was, with bluegrass music.
So this was the Kentucky, this was not a college. It was run at the college though, right?
No, yeah, it's a 2-year program. It's a technical college through KCTCS.
Yeah.
And they realized like late into the game that there weren't anything in the bylaws that said, hey, you don't have to be a certain age to graduate. So like, okay, let's get this kid graduated. It's only a certificate, but I definitely learned a lot through that, hanging around pestering, college-age kids. I'm sure I was a blast to be around.
Tell folks who ran that program there.
So Dean Osborne, who is the cousin of some sort to Bobby Osborne, who sang Rocky Top, and so I used to get to take lessons with Bobby Osborne and see him in maroon sweatpants with a golden button-up shirt tucked in, and he would fall asleep during lessons, and it was everything I could ever want out of a living legend. Highly recommended. I love Bobby very much.
Yeah. Tell us what else you learned in that program that you see as sort of an important piece of your training and growth as an artist.
So there's a lot of things. Just being around a lot of good musicians was helpful. Going to these festivals and seeing, because Dean also ran festivals during that time, and seeing how festivals are run and how you should act backstage, how a band should act and be booked. And those were very big lessons that I think I got a head start on that a lot of younger musicians didn't, because they were playing in kid bands and they didn't get to see the professional side. But also they had a recording program, and the criteria to graduate the recording program was you recorded 10 songs over the 2 years. Some students were kind of lazy, so they would make me record their songs for them. And that's how I started recording. And now, to this day, I still work in the audio-video industry, and I kind of started there, an idiot behind a soundboard with too much time on my hands.
Well, tell folks about some of the other things that you do.
So yeah, I do. I also work with Wood Songs, which is a television radio broadcast based out of Lexington, and I work with the TV crew there. But I started out there as a mandolin player, and weaseled my way into the television crew, and so that's been an interesting experience all its own.
Isaac, it's so good to see you, and I look forward to catching up more with you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to watching this band grow and chasing you all around a little bit. I'll have to keep my eye on your website. Do you all do a good job of maintaining your website and letting your growing your fan base and letting folks know where you are?
Yeah, so we've recently been making a big push on our website to keep it fully updated, and so that's hillhouseband.com, and that has links to all of our social media. We have a calendar updated there with all of our dates, and as the album comes out, we'll have a page there for all that information, and so that's sort of the jumping off point to find out anything you could want about us.
Good, and I'm certain that anybody who's listening tonight will be looking forward to hearing what you guys record. Roughly when can we expect that?
Hoping early spring of next year. We're actually going down to Nashville this Sunday to record the album. We have one studio day, and so we're going to try to record a 10-song album in one day. We're ambitious and stupid,
Great
but
plan.
that's what keeps us
Yeah.
going.
We're not going to try. We're going to do.
Somehow I think you all will do it.
We will do something, that's for sure.
Well, Hillhouse, thank you all for coming and being part of Red Barn tonight. We're glad to meet those of you who we haven't met, Taylor, and glad to see those of you who've been here before. So welcome back, and good luck to you, and let's hear some more music. Welcome back, Hillhouse, folks.
Angelina Baker lives on Village Green. Should have married Angela when I was 23. Angelina Baker, Angelina I know. Should have married Angela 20 years ago. String me up a banjo and make it up a twine. The only tune that plays, I wish the girl was mine. Won't get your eye down, won't get your fill, won't get your head cut off, come sure hell. Way by the riverside, where the blossoms grow. Somebody here go and take me home. Won't get your eye down, won't get your fill, won't get your head cut off, come sugar hill.
We're going to do another song for y'all that's an original. This is one I wrote called Wish I Was Sober. What?
We wish Taylor was sober too.
They all wish I was sober.
You can find us at the Village Idiot after this.
No, that's we are the village idiots, Andy.
Hush, little baby, now please don't cry. Daddy gotta go away for a while. I don't wanna leave you, wish you could know it. You won't remember, you won't be sad. And barely born, there's years to be had. I'm not around, we'll be strangers every moment. So go ahead and hate me if you're able. I'll accept it, I was unstable. And if I'm lucky, when you're older, you'll forgive me and I'll be sober. Call the bar home, stumble back drunk to an empty room, throw away the mail, another eviction notice. And I wish I could still see you, but that'd mean having to get off booze, and that takes time when you got my diagnosis. So go ahead and hate me if you're able. I'll accept it, I wasn't stable. If I'm lucky, when you're older, you'll forgive me and I'll be sober. Try to hang on, they want me to fall back in my old life. I got a daughter I never seen, and I hope one day she'll try to find me. Guess I gotta stay clean. So go ahead and hate me if you're able. I'll accept it, I was unstable. And if I'm lucky, when you're older, you'll forgive me and I'll be sober. And I own a gun. If she stayed, she'd end up in the ground. And now she's gone, the bottle's empty, and my friends and family have all turned against me. You'd be better off if I'm not around. So go ahead and hate me if you're able. I'll accept it, I was unstable. And if I'm lucky, when you're older, you'll forgive me and I'll be sober. Oh, you'll forgive me and I'll be sober.
Thank you so much. All right, we got one here that Isaac wrote. We're really proud about how we like to cover a lot of our own original music, and this is one that I think he wrote a while back before we started playing together and brought it to the band, and we kind of created its own sound for it. So this one is called Better Day.
dial back about a quarter turn. Fire up the engines, watch the hours burn. Gonna stop and see an old friend on my way. I'm on a road trip looking for a better day. I can picture someplace in my mind. Not sure if it's a place or if it's a time. But I've got all the time in this old world to think about it. There ain't no doubt about it. Do you ever wish you could go back and do it over again? Rewrite the story, come out with a different end. Do you ever wish there was something you could go back and say on a better day? Destination isn't quite what I thought. The best part of fishing, hitting bound on what you caught. I found that old place that I was searching for, but I'm too late to be happy anymore. Well, sugar ain't as sweet as it used to seem. You know the girl ain't as pretty as I see her in my dreams. This old place reminds me of why I left. I guess it was for the best. Hell, I know it was. Do you ever wish you could go back and do over again? Rewrite the story, come out with a different end. Do you ever wish there was something you could go back and say on a better day? On a better day.
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 What a special evening, do y'all agree? We would like to thank Hillhouse for being with us this evening, and we also thank our volunteers for their help with our production each and every week. We give a very special thanks to Becky Alfrey for her work with our social media and the photography of Nick Lazaroff. Thank you all for listening to our broadcast, watching us on YouTube Live, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, public radio for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.fm. It's your chance to hear more great live Kentucky music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU.
And we also thank the members of our studio audience for supporting the mission of Red Barn Radio to present, promote, and preserve the rich musical tradition and artists of this Kentucky region and share the treasure with the world. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Tickets for Red Barn Radio are now available at eventbrite.com, Lexington.
Next week on the Red Barn stage, Creek Don't Rise. The band originated at the V Club in Huntington, West Virginia. They have opened for such artists as Marcus King, Tyler Childers, and Tanya Tucker. The band style isn't easily classifiable, but their songs are a mix of blues, soul, folk, rock, funk, and country. While often labeled a blues band, and while they love the blues, they aren't afraid to stray quite far from it. So that sounds really fantastic. That's Creek Don't Rise next week, 7 p.m. on the Red Barn stage. How about it? Do you have one more for us before we end this wonderful night? I believe we do. Let's give it up for Hillhouse.
When it began, I didn't begin to know when, but I know it's growing strong. Wasn't spring, that spring became the summer. Who would know you come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Whoa, whoa, sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would, but now I. Isaac and Ellie, everybody. Look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely, filling up with only two. When I heard her on top of my shoulders, how can I hurt when I'm with you? Whoa, touching the wall, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Whoa, whoa, sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. The times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would. Take another round, everybody. Come back in. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. The times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. The times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would, but now I.
Well, folks, that's all of our Red Barn Radio program for tonight. But no worries, you can see and hear us worldwide on YouTube live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Our program is also available on the WEKU app. check out Red Barn Radio on demand. We're so glad you joined us tonight. From all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, we wish you the best of weeks and look forward to having you back again with us next week on Red Barn Radio.